Hello there. The sexual response cycle is divided into 4 distinct phases: excitement, plateau, orgasm, and resolution. There's no distinct beginning or end to any part of this cycle. It's more one continuous cycle of sexual response. But today I'm going to be talking to you about orgasm. There are many ways which we can achieve orgasm. We can achieve it mentally. We can achieve it through breathing techniques. We can achieve it through modalities that have nothing to do with sex itself or masturbation. But most of the orgasming that I'm going to be talking about today have to do with sex or masturbation, because that's where we are, most of us, in human consciousness at this point in time. Orgasm, also called sexual climax, is the sudden release of accumulated sexual energy. As far as the body is concerned, the orgasm is controlled by the autonomic nervous system, the same part of the nervous system that controls your heart rate, breathing, perspiration, and digestion. When men orgasm, first the seminal fluid collects in the urethral bulb. This is when a man may have the sensation that orgasm and ejaculation is certain. Next, semen is ejaculated from the penis. Contractions occur in the penis and pelvic region. When women orgasm, the vaginal walls contract rhythmically every 0.8 of a second. Of course, the number and intensity of the contractions vary depending on the individual orgasm. The muscles of the uterus also contract. When both people orgasm, breathing, pulse rate, and blood pressure continue to rise. Muscle tension and blood vessel engorgement reach a peak. Sometimes orgasm comes with a grasping type of muscular reflex of the hands and feet. The orgasm activates the pleasure center of the brain, releasing endorphins. It also causes our minds to temporarily lose control. In fact, one study from a university in the Netherlands found that when men and women reach orgasm, the lateral orbitofrontal cortex temporarily shuts down. This is the region of the brain that is responsible for behavior control. We are essentially in a deep state of surrender to the experience. During orgasm, our brains are flooded with oxytocin, which is the powerful brain chemical that inspires feelings of intimacy. Known as the cuddle hormone, oxytocin makes you feel connected to your partner. It bonds you to each other. Orgasms, especially the really good ones, can sometimes consume the entire body, not limiting themselves to the pelvic region. As far as your health is concerned, orgasms lead to feelings of euphoria and pleasure, which reduces stress, depression, and anxiety levels. It boosts the immune system. For those of you who like the effect that exercise has on the body, orgasm burns calories. It promotes relaxation and release of tension, which helps you sleep better. It increases circulation in the body and also the brain, leading to an increased mental sharpness. It helps alleviate pain. It helps cells in the body regenerate, and it inhibits the aging process. All of these physiological responses, which I've just mentioned, are of course just the physical reflection of something that is taking place on a more comprehensive energetic level. On an energetic level, when you're engaging in sex and you're reaching the point of orgasm, the entire body reaches a state of receptivity. Not only that, the energy within the body starts flowing faster. It's as if you were to break open the floodgates and all the channels of energy running through your body, the meridians and the chakras, were fully open to the unrestricted flow of source energy through your body. Alignment is occurring between the vibration of your physical perspective and the vibration of your non-physical perspective. And thus you experience a blending between the physical aspects of you and the non-physical aspects of you. During orgasm, your awareness of your own identity, or your own ego, as they call it, is dissolved. For this very reason, sex, and orgasm specifically, has been used in spiritual practice to attain enlightenment. It enables you to touch what is infinite. It enables the physical to access the non-physical. The best example of this that we have today, of course, is the practice of Tantra, whereby people use sex as a doorway to enlightenment. There are two main types of orgasm. The first is explosive, the second is implosive. Now, you can't get experts to agree on which is more healthy. Some people say that explosive orgasm is healthy because instead of building up pressure, it releases pressure. Other people say that implosive is restorative and healing, whereas explosive depletes you of energy. My stance on the subject is both explosive and implosive orgasms can be healthy and both can be unhealthy, depending on how you use them. In an explosive orgasm, the energy moves out of the body like it does during an explosion. In an implosive orgasm, the energy moves inwards so that it is retained within the body. An explosive orgasm is the best kind of orgasm to use for manifestation. It also creates the greatest release and therefore decreases stress levels the best. But it can cause you to feel depleted, and it is usually a shallower form of orgasm. The explosive orgasm is the one most natural to men. An implosive orgasm is the best kind of orgasm to use for healing or unity work. It pulls the partner's energy into you. It is restorative because it nourishes the body and soul and increases your energy levels. Instead of exploding outwards from you, it expands you from within. The implosive orgasm is the one most natural to women, but it can boost energy levels to an uncomfortable degree and allows people who are contained and who fear extending themselves towards others in any way to stay that way. Of course, the ideal scenario is to be able to decide or choose when you have one orgasm or when you have the other orgasm, so that you can choose the orgasm which most corresponds to your current desires or needs. Every body is like a unique instrument. The time it takes and the stimulation it takes to achieve orgasm is going to vary from person to person. And the only way to learn how to play an instrument with no manual is to experiment. I could do a video just on the subject of why some people, most especially women, cannot achieve orgasm. But for the sake of this video, I will tell you that it has very little to do with the orgasm itself, and much more to do with the fact that people have such a difficult relationship with their bodies and such a difficult relationship with intimacy itself. It is true that for many of us, our craving for orgasm is a craving for relief in the form of release. This craving for release and for relief is what is behind the addiction to pornography. But ultimately, on a higher level, the progression towards orgasm and the craving for orgasm is the progression towards and craving for oneness. Just like love is the movement towards oneness, to love someone is to include them as you. To orgasm with someone as a byproduct of love is to become conscious of the experience of being one. It is to move beyond the physical world which separates us from one another. So you see, orgasm in and of itself unites us with our own infinite, multidimensional soul. We find alignment between the physical and non-physical self. And orgasm with a partner we feel love for unites us not only with our own non-physical self, but also with them. It is therefore an amplified experience of oneness. Love that is added to sex is no longer sex. Instead, it is a bridge to the great beyond. When you experience orgasm as a result of a divine union with someone else, you will experience infinity, you will experience unity, you will experience oneness. Which is why this particular video has to come with a warning. Until you learn how to give and receive love on an ongoing basis in your day-to-day life, something will occur after sex which is highly unwanted. What will happen is you will settle back into the experience of being completely separate. You will never feel more alone than you do after the act of sex. You have experienced touching source energy and being in a state of oneness, only to be thrust back in the state of singularity, of loneliness, of separation. And so a great depression, a great letdown, a great anxiety might occur. Orgasm involves the total self, mind, body, and soul all together. You are no longer in control. Existence itself has taken possession of you, and you do not know who you are. This is momentary enlightenment. It is a mini-death so that you can experience being fully alive. Human life on Earth is ultimately the byproduct of orgasm. Orgasm and conception go hand in hand. The question is, what are you conceiving? For those of you who practice manifestation, the act of orgasm can be one of the most amazing tools for manifestation. Nothing matters more than what you are focusing on and feeling the experience of in the moment of orgasm. What you focus on, especially on a feeling-based level, is what you will conceive in your reality. Here's what I mean. If I'm having sex with my partner and focusing at him with my eyes, and am getting close to orgasming while simultaneously thinking or feeling the sensation of being insecure about my body, then I will begin to hyper-manifest scenarios in my reality where I am caused to feel insecurity about my body. Another example is, if I am orgasming and thinking about bondage-type fantasies where I'm being dominated, I will begin to hyper-manifest scenarios in my reality where I am being dominated. And whereas I might have an emotional attachment or some kind of a psychological attachment to the sexuality of being dominated when I am engaged in a sexual action, in my day-to-day life, being dominated might not feel so good. This is a crucial realization because we live in an era where our sexual practices are becoming increasingly deviant. When our sexual and orgasmic practices become more deviant, so does our collective reality. There's a corny way to visualize what is occurring during an orgasm. Think back to the old kids' movies you used to watch. The fairy or wizard would focus really hard, repeating an incantation. With the wave of their wand and a huge energetic release, the thing they were trying to conjure would manifest before their eyes, usually in a cloud of sparkling smoke. In the minute of orgasm, the accumulated energy that has built up is released, and you can aim and lend that powerful burst of energy towards what you desire, thus manifesting it into reality. It is best that if you can, during the orgasm, and also during the build-up to the orgasm, focus on emotionally and mentally experiencing the very thing which you wish to manifest. We can use sex to manifest loving relationships or deepen the bond with our specific partner by focusing emotionally and mentally on the sensation of bonding with them and unification and harmony with them. We can also use sex and masturbation to manifest things that are entirely unrelated to sex. For example, some people like to use orgasm as a tool for career advancement. When it comes to sex, we are habitual creatures. That means that when you do something which turns you on enough to climax, you now forever build a neurocircuit in your brain which tells you that that is going to be your modus operandi for achieving climax. For this reason, until you develop your sexual abilities more, you might choose to use the excitement and the plateau phase of the sexual response cycle to focus on what already turns you on. And then, when orgasm feels imminent, switch your focus to whatever it is that you wish to manifest. For example, a man may have a difficult time with the idea of getting sexually aroused by the idea of promotion, but job promotion is what he most wants to manifest in his life. But he does know that what turns him on is watching a man and a woman have sex. So, in his mind, he creates a scenario where he is observing a man and a woman having sex, and he feels himself becoming sexually excited. He reaches the excitement and the plateau phase of the sexual response cycle. Then, when he feels as if ejaculation or orgasm is imminent, he switches his focus to the experience of the job promotion. He allows the feeling of the climax to amplify the sensations of achievement and glory and relief and pride of promotion. He allows the feeling of the climax to enhance and focus the image in his mind of the people that are there and the way the room looks and smells. He will use his orgasm to make the scenario as real as possible on all levels, as if he is living it at that very moment. And he will hold on to it as his mental and emotional focus as long as he possibly can, completely through the resolution phase. And if he drifts off to sleep, he has then added the state of allowing to the art of manifestation, and thus amplified it further. Another example is, a woman might be acutely aware of her extreme desire for a long-term committed relationship with a man who wants her completely. If she's having sex with somebody, and she doesn't know if that particular man is going to feel that way about her, she focuses on the feeling of his energy coming all the way into her body, reaching into her heart area. Now, instead of focusing on things like the ceiling fan, or whether she left the gas on the stove on, or whether her legs are shaved, she puts herself completely in a space of visualizing what it would feel like on an emotional level, what it would look like for her to be in that committed long-term relationship with someone who wanted her completely. Maybe she's imagining herself getting married. She's doing whatever she needs to do to reach climax, but most especially during climax, she is putting herself completely in the experience of that thing she wants to manifest. She sinks into the feeling of security, of having his energy fully and unconditionally invested in her. Maybe she loses herself in the feeling of the complete connection with the man she is actually with. Maybe she imagines the scenario of getting married in detail, or walking hand in hand with somebody on the beach in detail. The most important thing is that in the moment of orgasm, she emotionally experiences the feeling of emotional security and love and being wanted that she wants to manifest. She maintains that focus throughout the duration of the orgasm and resolution phase. Either the man she is currently sleeping with becomes this committed partner, or the universe draws him away to make space for the man who's actually a vibrational match to that level of commitment that she has been asking for. So go ahead and try this technique. We are all energy. We can use this energy that is in and of us to give shape, form, and dimension to our desires. Because of this, all that's left to say is, be conscious of what you're wishing for. Have a good week.